despite being one of the most awe-inspiring ballers to ever step onto the hardwood.
You believe the earth was flat.
Kyrie Irving, I don't know, did you see
No,
You saw this, right?
don't get me started.
Kyrie's career has been positively plagued by controversy, from buttonheads in Beantown.
But I think he's immature. He comes off as a damn snob.
Irving inside the layup. Gets inside. How did that go in?
Cutting ties with one of the goats of the game,
Worse than flat earth theory. They're the same dude that want to play with LeBron.
to getting himself shut out of the NBA.
It appeared strongly that Kyrie was endorsing and promoting a book that Rolling Stone calls venomously anti-Semitic. Venomously.
Let's move on. Anti-Semitic
Let's
stuff.
move on.
I think Kyrie Irving should retire.
This is the rise, the fall, and the redemption of Kyrie Irving. Breaking ankles, records, and the internet. Kyrie Irving has long been one of the most famous faces in the NBA, and not always for a good reason. 2024 has seen Uncle Drew return to the postseason promised land, the NBA Finals, but in order to study how Kyrie bounced back, in order to understand the rise of the ankle taker, we first have to study the fall. Back in 2017, Kyrie Irving was an NBA champ, a multi-time All-Star, and one of the most exciting talents in basketball. But Uncle Drew managed to turn himself into a joke in the eyes of the media with one ill-timed admission. He believes that the earth is flat. Irving would soon apologize for his stance against science, specifically telling teachers around the world that he was sorry. But Kyrie wasn't ready to walk back his claims. It was perhaps the product of a curious mind thinking out loud. But because of Kyrie's influence across the globe, the volume at which his thoughts were shared was problematic. When I started actually doing research on my own and figuring out that there is no real picture of Earth, not one real picture of Earth, and we haven't been back to the moon since 1961 or 1969, it becomes like Conspiracy 2. Kyrie Irving basketball fans and players alike mostly chuckled the controversy away.
If he decides he wants to say the earth is flat, then so be it.
After all, how much harm was Kyrie really doing by asking these questions? Perhaps not a great deal. When it came to Kyrie and controversy, though, this was just the beginning. In 2019, Kyrie Irving left the Boston Celtics and made his debut for the Brooklyn Nets. He dropped an insane 50 points on his first outing in black and white. He became the first player in NBA history to grab 50 on a team debut. Whether the earth was round or flat didn't matter. The only thing that mattered was that Kyrie could ball. This had never been in question, of course, but his Nets debut was a reminder of how talented he really was. The flat earth theory had made too much noise. People had begun to forget about Kyrie, the basketball player. Except for the fans in his former home, that is. The fans in Beantown seemingly held their grudges against Uncle Drew after the underwhelming stint with the Celtics. Expectations for Kyrie in Boston were out of this world, and when Irving didn't live up to the billing, he took his talents to Brooklyn. This left Boston fans feeling more than a little sour. It seems that whenever Kyrie has faced off against his former team since, Kyrie's made the headlines. Burning sage to cleanse the TD garden of any bad vibes? Or perhaps the most outrageous of any Beantown behavior, when Kyrie stomped on the oh-so-sacred Boston mascot, Lucky the Leprechaun. Wipe your feet when you come in this house. The feud was by no means one-sided, though. Those passionate Celtics fans did everything in their power to disrupt Kyrie on the court. Sadly, this went from teasing and yelling to one fan actually throwing a water bottle at the former Rookie of the Year. And that was more than enough to get the fan kicked out of the arena. But this was just another incident that solidified the hatred between Boston and Irving. It's like the scorned girlfriend who wants an explanation on why I left, but still hoping for a text back. I'm just like, it was fun while it lasted. Nothing Kyrie had done at this point had raised any serious alarms. Nothing had threatened to derail his entire career. But then the global COVID-19 pandemic hit. Kyrie was about to inadvertently put basketball on the back burner. The flat earth theory was somewhat amusing, but it also revealed Irving's worrying susceptibility when it came to conspiracy theories. Kyrie was averaging over 25 points a game, but the COVID vaccine was one shot he was not willing to take. Now, hesitancy about receiving the COVID vaccine is one thing, but Uncle Drew hopped on social media and began spreading some maddening misinformation, including interacting with posts that made wildly bizarre claims connecting COVID to supercomputers and a master plan from Satan himself. This was the ankle taker at what appeared to be his most unhinged. Kyrie became a prominent face in an anti-vax movement. A vaccine mandate in New York was introduced, and it required all athletes to have the jab. Kyrie's refusal to get one dose saw him excluded from playing or even training with the team.
We're talking about practice. We're talking about practice.
So this might be the second most bizarre reason an NBA star has skipped out on such a schedule. Kyrie's reluctancy to commit to the Nets even prompted Stephen A. Smith to make the following rather remarkable statement.
I think Kyrie Irving should retire.
Irving wasn't done making the wrong kind of waves, though. In September of 2022, the superstar guard made another puzzling decision. This time, it was to share a conspiracy theory-fueled video from Alex Jones, the far-right figure who's perhaps best known for, you guessed it, spreading conspiracy theories. This put Kyrie back under those nasty negative lights, but the move also caught the attention of one of the NBA's most respected legends, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. The six-time MVP held little back when sharing his thoughts on Irving's actions. Now Irving is back and more destructive, insensitive, and just plain silly than before. Alex Jones is one of the most despicable human beings alive, and to associate with him means you share his stench. Conspiracy theories had turned Kyrie Irving from a sporting king into a questionable personality. And still, there was more. On October 27, 2022, with a simple click of the mouse or a swipe of the thumb, Kyrie Irving put a nail in the coffin of his basketball legacy. Kyrie tweeted a link to an Amazon listing of a book. This was no ordinary good read, and certainly not the kind of book that you'd find LeBron reading the first page of. The book was based on a film promoting Black Hebrew-Israelite ideology. Shall we run down some of the most controversial elements? Holocaust denial, quotes from Adolf Hitler, accusations that Jewish people controlled the slave trade, that they always and still do control the media, and that they worship Satan. The resulting backlash was understandably severe. Some people wanted Kyrie gone from the game for good. Others simply expressed their deep disappointment in a player who'd once been considered as the next face of the NBA. Remarkably, Uncle Drew refused to apologize. He made excuses, such as the one where he said he was not the person responsible for making the film. Kyrie's actions were widely condemned, even by King James. If you're promoting, soliciting, or saying harmful things to any community that harms people, then I don't respect it, I don't condone it. I hope he understands that what he said was harmful to a lot of people. That's right, Irving's actions were bad enough to have his old buddy LeBron going against him. Kyrie did at least say that some of the ideas shared within the book were untrue, but his lack of remorse earned him a suspension from the league. Considering that Adam Silver, the NBA's commissioner, is Jewish, Kyrie likely got off lightly. Even so, the suspension finally inspired the apology people had been waiting for from Irving. To all Jewish families and communities that are hurt and affected from my post, I'm deeply sorry to have caused you pain, and I apologize. I had no intentions to disrespect any Jewish cultural history regarding the Holocaust or perpetuate any hate. I'm learning from this unfortunate event, and I hope we can find understanding between us all. This was seemingly basketball rock bottom for Uncle Drew. Could Kyrie turn things around? Could he restore his aura? Could he shift the focus away from his mistakes and back onto the talent that brought him to the dance in the first place? The only way to go now was up. In February of 2023, Kyrie requested a trade out of Brooklyn. It was the perfect time for a fresh start. But because Kyrie only had a year left on his contract, whichever team that was taking him on was also taking some serious risk in doing so. The team that took that risk, the Dallas Mavericks, led on court by the incomparable and ultra-talented Luka Doncic. The hype was heavy, but the question marks held as much weight. Could Kyrie and Luka coexist? Could Kyrie steer clear of controversy? Would this run finally be one without any off-court issues? For a while, it didn't look that way. Despite glimpses of greatness, such as Kyrie and Luka becoming the first pair of Dallas teammates to ever score 40 each in a single game, the Mavs missed out on the playoffs. The Luke-Kyrie experiment was seemingly a failure. But then Kyrie re-signed with the Mavericks and the mood changed. The chemistry clicked. The ankle taker played perfect partner to Luka Doncic as Dallas went on an undeniably solid run throughout the regular 82. The team hit 50 wins and made the playoffs as a 32-year-old Kyrie Irving took on the role of veteran with a point to prove. Boy, did he prove it. Kyrie's exceptional play helped push the Dallas Mavericks all the way to the NBA Finals. There may not have been a ring waiting for them at the end of the journey, but Kyrie's play and his ability to keep all talk about him relating to his basketball essentially revived a career that many had dubbed done. Stephen A., a man who once urged Irving to hang up his kicks, apologized. LeBron James let everyone know just how happy he was for Irving, and that he missed having him beside him on the court.
I'm like so happy and so proud and to watch him and continue his growth. And at the same time, I'm so mad at the same time that I am not his running mate anymore.
Irving had been shunned, but today he is respected once again. Words that once seemed inappropriate to describe Kyrie are now fitting. Mature, reliable, dependable. The talent was always clear, and throughout all of the off-court drama, nobody could have denied Kyrie's greatness as a player. The difference now is that Kyrie is no longer the problem child. He's the poster boy for basketball redemption. The next question mark comes after this. Can Kyrie and Luka make it back to the finals? Can this Dallas team win an NBA championship? And can Kyrie cement his legacy as an all-time great with another championship ring? You'd be crazier than a flat earther to bet against him. When it seemed like Kyrie Irving was only a headline hogger for all the wrong reasons, Uncle Drew got back to doing what he does best, balling. The result has been truly incredible to watch. Is Kyrie Irving's renaissance the most inspiring comeback in NBA history? Let us know what you think in the comments below. And don't forget to hit that notification bell, like, and subscribe.